dear friends, in this video I will share some thoughts on some of the interesting points in the news from the last 2 weeks. This is an event organized by the League of the most powerful and influential witches and black magicians in Russia again. They had a gathering in it only says the center of Moscow, it looks like Kremlin, where they made a ritual, a power circle for protection on Putin with the wish that, quote, may he continue leading us on the right path. I selected the less depictive images on purpose, otherwise the full footage is just full of satanic symbolism. No comments. The comments were in the EndTimes series. So what is happening at various places, according to one video? In Saudi Arabia, holes appear in the ground, just like this in the desert. And not only water starts coming to the surface, but also millions of fishes. And various trash items also surface, like local beer cans, plastic packaging, revealing a connection to remote parts of the world. It seems the storms even spread the fish, and it comes as rainfall in Saudi Arabia. And the appearance of these holes resembles very much the incident which took place maybe 2 years ago in Australia, again in the desert. The road split, some minor road. Water started coming out again together with millions of fishes. All this is because the inside of the world moves now at an accelerated rate. These underwater channels, which are like veins, and they are interconnected like a mesh, like a network that was described in the videos about the prophecies of Otrok Vyacheslav, who warned us that these channels will get clogged. They will not function anymore. They will be disturbed by the enormous cracks which will appear on the Earth's surface, and that is beginning to happen now to a lesser degree, but in the future it will be more and more. Exactly like the problems with airplanes crashing and having all kinds of problems to an extent much more than decades ago, again as predicted by Otrok Vyacheslav. So this underground water maze is actually as intended by God, drinking water supply of the earth, and not only supply, also a natural purification system as described by Otrok Vyacheslav. So the fact that it is getting disturbed is a sign that most likely the other part of the prophecy will come true as well, and there will be no more natural drinking water anywhere on earth at all. Are you prepared for those times when there will be no water? A viewer of the channel sent me a very nice reminder that now it is spring and the leaves of the towhorn, the white horn, are tender and nice. Maybe we should all collect some of them. And she sent me even a second prophecy of another Christian mystic about the effects, about the importance of the hawthorn leaves as a remedy for one of the upcoming plagues. So Maria Esperanza as well as Mary Julie Jehani have both prophesied about this cure which will be saving the good people. Even if we have still a couple of years in which we could collect the leaves, maybe it is good to have some in stock, because another thing which came up in the Nina prophecies is that the weather will become crazy to such an extent that it will be -40 and +50 in a single day. These are insane temperature jumps. And I think we are for now seeing signs that they might be even organizing with completely scientific means, something like this. For example, in Russia, since they made these new installations for preventing global warming, all of a sudden, the last month, in many regions, it was too hot for this time of the year. The crops grew much more than they would under normal circumstances, and now the temperatures are hitting record low, and in many areas all agriculture is pretty much dead, including things like fruit trees, which will not give fruit not only this year but also for a couple of years more, if they're at all alive. So I mentioned this in relation to the hawthorn because that is a very resilient wild bush, but still extreme temperatures and other disasters can kill even resilient vegetation. So collect until you can. It is also a favorite snack for many bugs in the forest. So one day, when you need it, you may have to compete with them. So get your supply of leaves until you can, dry them, and keep them vacuum sealed. And don't you worry about the rest, they will arrange everything else. Here they're reading the latest statements of the health ministry in Russia. I'm sure there are similar papers in the other countries. They say we are so sorry for the mistakes we did during the pandemic, and now we're gonna fix them all. We are making local committees who will find out what went wrong, why couldn't we fix all the people, and we will correct this situation. We are gonna fix you all. Yes, it is openly stated in this official document from the ministry. Everybody, babies, children, teenagers, adults, elderly, everybody will be fixed. There will be no exceptions. And not only this, they have thought it all in advance. If you follow the link, this author is warning since long time that they're planning to use us as food. Since long time, apparently they are convinced, based on their scriptures, that we have to be on their menu by 2030. And there will be fines and other punishments for those who not admire all these ideas. And another interesting document, this time from Ukraine. Probably there are alternatives in other lands as well. For protection of the citizens, so when they cannot pay their fines and the debt collectors come, the government is so kind, they cannot allow the debt collectors to take everything. So there are exceptions, like toothbrushes, soap, they cannot take, even one chair and one table per family. And now you will not believe it, what kind of mercy. They will even leave one phone and one computer per family. In addition, they will leave your clothing so that when they take away your house and car, you can go on the street, sit on your chair, and use your phone and computer. This is not a joke, this is an actual new legislation. Now, for understandable reasons, during the last few years, the medical scams of virology are coming under scrutiny by those who really want to know the truth, and it is becoming quite popular in the alternative circles to expose the falsehood of the contagion talk. And indeed, the said material channeled by Jane Roberts, which I'm recommending since many years describes that the natural viruses, they are in dormant state in everybody, and when the corresponding beliefs appear in the human psyche that activates or deactivates certain viruses, it is not that you touch a sick person and you get the virus from him. Now, the good part of the story is that finally the modern science is discovering, or whatever, rediscovering what Seth has been trying to tell us since decades, but it's only half of the picture. And what I see in the alternative communities is they know this half only. They don't read everything else about viruses in the Seth material, and as a result, some good people may end up in trouble. For example, after reading these new scientific things about viruses, some people stopped washing their hands, drastically reduced their hygiene standards in other ways too, and in this way they unknowingly swallow the karma of others. Actually, in the Vedic context, it is recommended to wash hands and take bath much more than it is recommended by those who believe in viral contagion. For a completely different reason though, because when you touch the people, the environment, the karma of that paradigm sticks to you. And now a few words about the rest of what Seth says about viruses. So the natural viruses, which were created by God, they are not contagious in the modern sense of that word. However, currently we are mostly dealing with lab-made viruses. And also, recently I heard even bacteria and all kinds of parasites which were not normally found in human body. Now they have been lab adapted to thrive in humans as well. So Seth specifically explained for us that those are a completely different category, and the body has no natural instructions on how to deactivate them. So as more and more people started discovering that the modern virology is just a big hoax, some of them even reached the point that they don't believe in shedding from the fixed people because you see there is no contagion. But sadly, this is not the case. Shedding exists. And it has barely anything to do with virology as such because it's more of a matter for a nanotechnology engineer, not a doctor. We are talking about self-assembling miniature machines here, not viruses, strictly speaking. And the only thing you can do in this situation is distance yourself from the society, distance yourself from all its physical and social aspects. Something which everybody will agree with, but sadly, very few will actually do. We live in an extremely interesting historic moment about which the prophecies say many amongst the good people even will fall in the traps, in the deceit of the Dajjal. And the way I see exactly this happening is that many of the good people, they view all this as some sort of entertainment. They follow the alternative media. They investigate all the details. They're mesmerized by the epic grandeur of what is happening, but do not distance themselves from the society just because they think that if they don't approve the satanic agenda, they're safe, but this is not the case. An example to illustrate what I just said. This alternative outlet investigates day and night all the satanic traps, exposes them, and this is what they are telling to the people now. Our freedom has gone, probably forever, and of course in 1 or 2 years, the probably will not be there. And then they will tell the people exactly what the Dajjal wants them to believe. Sorry, we did everything we could, but there seemed to be no way. If I don't get the new passport, I cannot even cross the street or go to the supermarket. When they start handing out the passports, they will say, "But I have no choice," and that's the deceit. They have to make the right choice now and distance themselves now. Probably these writers are missing the opportunity themselves and unknowingly leading others in the trap as well, their readers. Just read this. The time of the proper mark of the beast is very, very near. All the various digital ID projects of the various countries will be very soon connected in one single database. And how many people are ready for the forest? It's a 4 years old video, and they were showing parties with champagne and celebration and the actual injecting of the microchip, and everybody screaming with joy. Now you're a proper cyborg. How cool is that? In Gaza, it is the artificial intelligence which decides whom to kill and whom not to kill. Of course, very soon it will decide who will get food and who will not in the cities. In the prophecies about the tribulation, it was said that they will be openly selling children on the street for the purpose of rape, and that will become the way of life. It will become the norm. And it seems they are working hard on it. Look at this. First, they started well, the pedophiles are also people. You can't hurt their feelings. You should not openly talk against them. Now, the next thing they are saying is that the children should decide for themselves. And guess how difficult it is to make a child say whatever you want. And meanwhile, UN are working on the legal frontier of making it all legal. The city is still vague in vague definitions. This report, the principles of human rights-based approach to criminal law conduct associated with sex, in this edition of the paper, they are not openly permitting pedophilia, but after 1 or 2 corrections in 1 or 2 years or so, that's where it is going. Because they're saying that children should decide these things by themselves. And by the way, in this very same law, they are pushing on legalizing drugs. And that could be lucky for some who want to try sacred plants, but by far those who will be affected by the new drug legislation will be those who are getting damaged by drugs. Probably some 99% of the people who will feel a difference after the new drug laws will be losers. Because the parasites, they play their cards cleverly. They are allowing drugs freely now, more and more, just because they got sure that they will be misused. Anyway, very soon the transport will be disrupted very much, and there will be no way to get sacred plants locally. There will be only drug dealers who sell the satanic lab thing. And even with the legalization of weed in general, that is a good thing. But in practical terms, there will be way more harm than damage. I've met people from all kinds of alternative communities all over the world, and I have noticed that by far most, not all, but most regular weed users clearly show the same traits of personality damage. Although the weed as such is a sacred plant, it is being misused. First of all, the plant itself is heavily modified nowadays. Second of all, it is not taken in a shamanic context. And in addition, often it is taken in unreasonable quantities, way too often, even daily. I have met only a couple of people who did not show any signs of damage, and the rest of the regular users, they all had these same traits. Like, for example, one of them is very short-term sighted, and such people call foolish carelessness, living in the moment, very prone to doing ridiculous, really stupid things now just for some temporary gain without thinking of the consequences tomorrow. And that's exactly what the Dajjal wants. He will have plenty of irresistible offers for that type of people. To stay safe, uh, once a month, a week is okay. For some people, maybe even once a week. But more than that, you are in the risk zone. It was said in the prophecies that at the very end of the tribulation, the marked people will become immortal and won't be able to even kill themselves. That sounds a bit far-fetched, but with a mixture of science and black magic, we may reach there. Now you see the foods they are serving already in the supermarkets. They have stem cells that they are grown on cells which are practically indistinguishable from cancer because they are immortalized cells, functionally indistinguishable from cancer cells. Wow. So, whatever they feed to the people, that's what they will become. Officially, they simply refuse to discuss this publicly. So, the good meat, good meats, chicken products are tied to Chinese military bio-warfare program. And that good chicken is being made popular as goodness food by the loud screams of the dramatically increasing vegan community, which very aggressively preaches that this is a cruelty-free product because no chicken are being slaughtered. So Mr. Bill Gates seems to be keenly interested in Alzheimer's research. It turns out that this disease damages the brain to the point that after one gets the disease, entire segments of the psyche become white pages, and Mr. Gates has got fantastic ideas for content for reprogramming those pages. In Christianity, at least in the Orthodox Christianity, when one is initiated into a monastic order, during the initiation ritual, one's hair is cut off. And this is just one of the countless examples when part of the body containing its unique code is used as the topmost secure way to sign a cosmic contract. An example of the dark side is that the black magicians always are looking for a hair of the victim or a nail clipping. That's why the Satanists, they demand, they stipulate biometric data so that their contracts with the dark side will be fully valid for the cosmic judgment. Understanding of this feature of biometry is very rare and limited nowadays. Instead of that, even alternative sources engage people's attention with articles like take this or that food supplement and it will neutralize the nanobots in you. Maybe in very rare cases this will really work, but let's be realistic. Most of the people who will go for this, they will buy the food supplements from that very same shop which sells all the other pills which As I have seen on video, now even stick to magnets, they have that much metal in them. Of course, they have started putting their disgusting metal stuff in many chemical pills. Of course, sooner or later, or probably already, a lot in the herbal stuff. And at the end, the people who put their hopes in this type of stuff will be in the position of the so-called Christians who believe the church that you can sin all week and then on Sunday you can give few cents to the church and everything is paid off, and then you continue with the sinning the next week. So in other words, don't leave your comforts in the city, just take the herbal supplements and keep convincing yourself that you're not joining the parasites, even though you have given them your biometric data. I received this question apparently from a new subscriber of the channel, and actually I have this very long documentary. It took me a couple of years to make, when the survivors of Atlantis and Hyperborea wake up, and over there it is exactly about these things in length. But since you are asking, I will summarize. People call angels those mystic beings which help them in difficult times, in the way modern people define goodness. Watchers is a bit broader category because besides the angels, there are higher levels magical beings which are responsible for the misfortunate things from the point of view of modern people, who often seem to be very reluctant to face the fruits of their own karma. Naga is a Sanskrit term for snake-bodied magical beings. Not all Nagas are malevolent as such, but currently in its state, the earth attracts the malevolent parties of Nagas. There are also celestial good Nagas, like for example Shesha Naga. In the Americas, both watchers are being worshipped as gods, and also the supreme creator as well, who is many levels above them. And in addition, they seem to put in the gods category some people from Hyperborea. And as far as the term Anunnaki, as far as I understand, it has been used to describe a small group of watchers in the old books, but somehow in modern times the term gained great popularity, even to the point that it became almost equivalent to the Watchers, but I don't think it was in that way when the original texts which mention this name were composed.